Ladies and gentlefish, sorry for the late session, sorry for the late start to the session. Hope you guys had a great day today. Hope you guys had a good trading day as well, man. Give everybody another minute to join and then we'll get started. We're going to be going over the pairs you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUD-USD, finishing off with US oil. We will be going in order from the top to the bottom, but if you guys have any questions about any specific pairs, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. Gonna be a quick session today, guys. Gonna be a quick session. First thing I want to do is talk about the pairs that we were looking at this morning, which was GJ, US 30, and gold. Each of them gave us some pretty nice entries, right? And we'll talk about them. We'll talk about the reasons why I didn't take these trades, but I was on them. I was looking at them. I marked them up. I was in front of the screen. While these trades were going on, you guys could view that on the session this morning too, because the stream was on. And just decided not to pull the trigger on these trades. And again, we'll speak about them. Give everybody another minute. We'll start off with GJ, and then we'll go to US 30, and then we'll go to gold. I'm like, something's not in the right order here. No, it's US 30. We're good now. And it actually should be as NZD, USD, US 30, S&P. There you go. Alright, so let's start off. What's good, Albert? Welcome to the stream, my brother. Hi, brother. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing amazing, my brother. I can't complain. So let's start off first explaining GJ. Or should I just go in order, and then when we get to these pairs, well, alright, we'll do that. We'll go in order since I'm gonna do the session pretty quick today. Right, I'm not gonna do nothing crazy on the 4 hour and the daily. We already know where we're at. Right, we'll just focus on the 30-minute time frame today. Right, for AU, we know we're still looking for the valid break of these lows before looking for those continuations back down to the bottom. So AU, not really gonna be keeping an eye on this. We got really close right at the end of the session. We got a little inducement of the low, so we'll see how price reacts to these lows going into tomorrow's trading session. Please check your DM. I got you, Albert. The session shouldn't be deleted. I'm not sure why. I'll check that after the session. But regardless, you said, I hope, or can we address the question one more time? You said, is this an irregular pullback on AUD CAD? So since we're on that pair now, right, let's talk about it. So you were looking at the 30-minute, right? And what I was explaining yesterday, right, is based on based on how price is moving, right? Even though we had a nice change of character, lower low, lower high, and we could see that price did give us a nice little lower high, right? And then it did give us the break completely down to the bottom. The fact that when we look to the left hand side and we look at previous market structure, right? Look how spread out we are the entire time, right? And then we had such a big move here, right? For me to say that this is going to be lower high, lower low, it just doesn't look right. You get what I'm saying? It just doesn't look right to the eye. So what I want to see with this one, right, instead of saying that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, right, all of this is just part of the same trend. There was really no significant pullback. There was no stopping. There was no zone of consolidation. Price just kept trending the entire time. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right? All of this is part of the same trend. So To answer that question, yes. Even though I have it marked here on the 30-minute time frame, how you have it marked, right, or how you would have it marked, right, what you circled. Even though I have it marked, I'm not really classifying this as a valid break, right? Which is why I wasn't looking for these trades after the break of structure to continue the push to the bottom. But also, the second reason why I'm not considering it the break, right, is because we have the 800 EMA. We know price respects the 800 EMA. So before we could have even looked for an entry to continue these pushes down to the bottom for this to be considered a lower low, and we're looking for a lower high to continue into a lower low, we wanted to see price break below the 800 EMA and stay trending below the 800 EMA. And the fact that we went below it, we just tested it and we came right back up and we started trending to the top side, we already knew we weren't going to get that continuation back down to the bottom. So again, to answer that question pretty easily, yes, it is an irregular pullback. It's not a significant pullback, right? So again, I'm just going to keep this marked like this just so we can continue to look for the trend. Once again, ACAD is a pair that we know is in an overall downtrend, but we know we're stuck in a zone of consolidation where price is rejecting lows and rejecting highs the entire time. And we rejected lows and we are expecting price to come back up to the highs again. So we'll be patient with AUD CAD. Daily time frame, we're still uptrending. 4-hour time frame, we're still uptrending. 30-minute time frame, right now, looks like price wanted to give us a higher low. Right, when we look at the trend, higher high, higher low, higher high. This could have been the higher low to then continue back into the higher high. Thanks for the explanation. No problem, Albert. Euro AUD. Daily time frame. Again, guys, I'm going to go pretty quick for today's session, so we'll be done in the next, I'm going to try to do it in 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Euro AUD, we are in level 3 on an overall uptrend. We are expecting price to reach our previous peak highs all the way at these highs over here. Right, and right now when we zoom in and we just look at price action, price is consolidating, just moving sideways. So there's nothing for me to take here on EA. Once we start trending again and we get out of the zone of consolidation, that's when I'll start trading. Right, Euro AUD gave us a little change of character to the bottom side, just a little inducement. Change this to red. And we know we're trading between these 30-minute highs up here and these 30-minute lows down here. We had 2 days of rise on the third day, did not give us that third day push. We're trading between this low. EURUSD. EURUSD, we know we're in peak high territory. We're still on an uptrend. Price gave us a 30-minute change of character to the bottom side. Gave us the inducement, started to push back to the top side. Right, gave us it tapped into our 30-minute high, but did not give us an inducement. So we're still trading between the same 30-minute high and 30-minute low. And this is another pair. We had 2 days of rise. Price did not give us that third day push today. And again, price for EURUSD. We're in peak high territory. We're at our daily highs, we're at our 4-hour highs, and we're at our 30-minute highs. We still don't have a valid break of these highs. I am not looking to take a trade in this area until we either get a break of these highs or retest to then continue, or if price decides to stay in this zone of consolidation, right, I'm going to be looking for price to come back down, and this is where I'll start looking to take my trades again to go back to the top side. So I'm either going to be looking for an inducement of the low to go high, or I'm going to be looking for a break retest to then continue that push back to the top side. For right now, for ECAD, just going to take a step back. I'm not going to be trading it. EURUSD, we're also in peak high territory. We're at the daily highs, we're at the 4-hour highs. Price still hasn't given us a valid break of the highs on either time frame. Price gave us 2 days of rise, today being the third day. Price did give us that third day push and ended on a drop. But again, same thing we always say. The fact that price did not give us a valid break of these highs, and the fact that we have such a steep pullback for this pair, I'm not expecting it to give us a 4th day push to the top side. So EU, I'll be looking at it tomorrow, but I'm not expecting anything too crazy from it. GA gave us higher high, higher low. Right, gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price consolidated for a few days and gave us a change of character lower low to the bottom side. Gave us this 30-minute high at the top, same 30-minute high. The 30-minute lows are going to be these lows over here. We had a day of no net yesterday, and for today, price gave us a day of drop. Who's texting me and why? NGA is another pair similar to ECAD. We are in peak high territory, so I am not trading GCAD. But again, we'll keep it updated. GCAD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. Instead of giving us a simple higher high, higher low to continue into a higher high, it decided to just give us another zone of consolidation. And again, that's okay. We're back at the highs where price has rejected twice before. Gave us a rejection, exhaustion candle, going back to the bottom. Gave us a rejection, an exhaustion candle, back to the bottom. Again, gave us another rejection, right, an inducement. It gave us another exhaustion candle, multiple exhaustion candles, the same thing that it did back in June. And then price started going back down. So right now for GCAD, the first thing I want to see before taking trades in this area here, right, exclusively before I enter a buy position in this area, I need to see a confirmed break, a confirmed retest, to then look for trades here to continue that push to the top side. But getting into trades in this area when price already gave us exhaustion candles, when price already gave us the inducement, when we already know that multiple times before price gave us a rejection and went right back down to the bottom, I am not taking trades in this area. So already understanding that and already seeing that on the daily time frame, I already know what I'm going to be looking for on the 30-minute time frame. Gonna be patient. Right now we have 2 days of rise. Again, trends do not need to be followed when you're in zones of consolidation, especially when you're getting an inducement of the zone of consolidation. Make sure you guys write that down. Right? It doesn't matter what entry model you're following. It doesn't matter if you're looking for continuations. It doesn't matter if you're looking for engulfing candles. It doesn't matter if you're looking for fair value gaps, order blocks, ICT methods. It doesn't matter. Right? You're losing these type of trades in this area. Right? If you're looking for double bottoms, same thing. Double tops. It's all the same thing. Right? Bounces off the EMAs. Flag pose patterns. Harmonic patterns, they're all the same thing. The reason you're losing trades in this area is because you're trading in an area where the market makers are trapping traders. They're inducing traders to get into a trade to hunt for stop losses, right? So again, if you already have the understanding that this is what's going on in these areas, why would you put your portfolio at risk to lose a trade, right? Why would you put yourself in a situation to get into a trade that has a 50% chance of winning and 50% chance of losing? You're trading 50-50, right? When you're going into high probability trades and low probability trades, right? Why would you put yourself in a position to get into a low probability trade? For some traders, they don't care, right? For some other traders, they understand, all right, I'm in a low probability area, right? I'm in a high risk area. Instead of risking 10%, I'm only going to risk 2%. Or instead of risking 10%, I'm only going to risk 5%, right? And if that's the type of trader that you want to be, that's totally okay. Again, we've always said it. A 40%, a 50%, a 60% win rate, you could still be highly profitable. It all boils down to your risk management. However, if you're a trader like me, I'm very conservative and I'm only really taking A+ setups. And you guys will see those examples. It's good that I'm talking about this now. You guys will see those examples on 3 different charts today. Because we talk about this all the time, right? 9 out of 10 times, a trade that you think is high probability, or a trade that you know is low probability, 9 out of 10 times is going to go opposite of your direction, right? That one time that it does, You can't let that buzz you up and be like, oh, I'm going to take this exact same setup all the time. Because again, market structure will bite you in the ass. The day you decide to take a low probability setup because, oh, it worked out yesterday, or oh, it worked out last week, right? The next week that you come back into the chart and you take that exact same setup is going to go opposite. And it might not. You might win 2 in a row, but then you're going to start getting into a losing streak, right? So just keep that in mind. Now, why does that matter? It's exactly what happened today on GJ, right? So GJ, and we'll break this down from the top to the bottom. We know that GJ is still in an uptrend. We know that we're still in an uptrend. We know that we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And we know that in the run to the higher high, price decided to give us a zone of consolidation, right? Price is at the top of the zone of consolidation. It still hasn't given us a valid break of these highs. All of these candles have just been inducements. All of these candles have still been testing candles. None of these candles have closed above the break of structure line without touching it. And the ones that did never closed above the gaps or above the wicks of the candles that we wanted to see the break of structure of. And you can see that here on the daily time frame. All of the candles were touching that break of structure line. After we had all of these inducements, price then printed a daily engulfing candle going short, a bearish engulfing candle. So just keep that in mind. You have the inducements of the highs, you have exhaustion candles at the highs, and after the exhaustion candles and after the inducements, price printed a bearish engulfing candle going short. Just with those 3 rules on the daily time frame. We're only on the daily. We haven't even gone to the 4-hour to see more confluence. We haven't even gone to the 30-minute to see more confluence. Just based off of the daily time frame, as a trader, what's the first thing on your mind? For me, it was, okay, this might be a nice area to start looking for these sell positions. That's the first thing on my mind. So now I'm going to go to the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame is going to confirm what we wanted to see on the daily, which is we didn't get a valid break of the 4-hour highs. All of these candles were still touching the break of structure line. These are still inducement candles. Perfect. Okay, cool. Now that we have that on the 4-hour time frame, is there anything else? No. There's no other there's no other confirmations. There's no other confluence. Right now on the 4-hour time frame, all we have is just candlestick analysis. That's it. Going into the 30-minute time frame, what do we see? First thing is first. We know we had a change of character to the downside, right? We were trending higher high, higher low, higher high until price gave us a change of character, lower low. We already know, okay, cool. Yes, even though we have a bearish engulfing candle and we have a change of character, before we could look for an entry going short on a pair that's on an uptrend, what do we need to see that confirms the shift of that confirms that the trend has been shifted from an uptrend to a downtrend? And we know that the confirmation is when price gives you a change of character, and after the change of character, it gives you a break of structure of the low, then gives you a retest to then continue. The fact that we only had a change of character and price gave us an inducement of the low, we already knew, okay, cool. This daily engulfing candle, this bearish engulfing candle that we have on the daily time frame is low probability because we still haven't seen that valid break of the lows that confirms that the trend has shifted. That was the number one thing. Now, once I got back on the chart this morning and I saw, okay, cool, on the 5-minute time frame, after the inducement, we had the change of character to the top side, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high change of character, higher low, and then price gave us the higher high break of structure. However, the trade that I was looking for happened before the break of structure, right? Before the break of structure, all of these candles were still testing, still were giving us the inducement, and then price gave us a break of the bottom of this zone of consolidation that we had. However, it gave us a 1-minute engulfing candle. For me, I was like, this is way too high risk of a trade in the sense of not of how much I'm risking per trade. Because if we're looking at the pip value, just so you guys could see how conservative of a trader that I am. We're talking about GJ. We're talking about a 3 pip stop loss, right? And I had this mapped out, and I deleted it so we could do this in the class, right? We're talking about a 3 pip stop loss for STP at 32 pips. We're talking about a 1 to 11 trade. So I'm not talking about high risk of how much I'm losing per trade. No. I'm talking about whether I'm going to win the trade or lose the trade. And for me, this was high risk. If price, notice, we were looking for these highs to be broken. If price would have given me a valid break of these highs, instead of giving us these inducements, then yeah, 100%, this is higher high, higher low. We got the engulfing candle. We got the retest straight into profit. Zero drawdown. That's how it should be, 100% of the time. And it was just that one single rule, that one single thing that needed to happen, which is having that valid break of structure. Either way, price played out perfect. Do I feel some type of way about it? No. Why? Because this isn't a missed opportunity for me. A missed opportunity is if all my rules are being played out perfectly and I'm looking at the chart and I missed it. That's a missed opportunity. But we sat on our hands because we did not see our rules being played out. The fact that price did not give me that valid break, I wasn't going to take it. That's it. It's that simple. If this specific pair, or in general, if I'm looking for an entry and my rules aren't being followed 100%, I'm not going to take it. Why? Because the day that I decide that I'm going to take a trade and I say, fuck it, I'm going to take the trade even though this isn't following my trading rules, we're going to start losing. We're going to start losing. And that's where the discipline comes into play. Because I already know, me personally, right? I already know that 9 out of 10 times, if I were to take this trade because I feel anxious about missing a trade and fuck it, I haven't taken a trade in September, I'm going to just get in to see if it works, right? That's going to be the day that I decide to lose a trade. And it already happened to us. That's the reason I have one loss for this year. It was for GBPCAD, right? And I thought I knew more than the market. I said, I started feeling good about myself. We're on a 16 win streak for the, from that point of the year. And I think this was back in May-ish, something like that, right? Oh, I know better. I know better than the markets. I'm gonna hold this trade. Watch. Boom, straight to stop loss. And again, it wasn't a big stop loss. It was a 4 pip stop loss. I still lost a couple $100. We're not gonna lie here. Right? It was an expensive loss, but it was a loss that was needed to ground myself, put myself back in reality, and understand this is why we don't take trades that aren't following our rules 100% of the time. Because again, you might win 2 times, you might win 3 times, you might win 4 times in a row. But then what happens when that losing streak starts coming in? You lose 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, right? So you have to be patient. Again, these trades, a lot of people might be like, oh, you missed the opportunity, you missed the opportunity. I don't think of it that way. Because again, a missed opportunity is when there's an opportunity in front of you that's 100% there. If you're looking at a trade and you're thinking of it in hindsight, you didn't miss it. Because in hindsight, if you were there on the charts and you didn't see this play out, then it just didn't play out. It wasn't your trade to take. Move on, go to the next one. Same thing. It should be the same mentality if you end up taking a loss, which a lot of people will take losses. You will take losses in the market, especially in your beginning stages of trading. Right? Losses shouldn't make you feel some type of way. If anything, it should motivate you to move on, press play, go on to the next trade, learn your lesson, and don't do it again. But if you continue to take the same losses back to back to back to back to back times, and you still don't learn your lesson, right? There's something wrong there. You should be able to take losses, turn those into lessons, and don't repeat the same mistakes over and over again. All good, a great lesson. Yeah, that's literally what it is. It was definitely a great lesson. So that was the GJ trade, and we'll do the same breakdown for US 30, and we'll do the same breakdown for gold, so you guys could see where my mentality was at. So GU very similar to EU, and again, guys, I'm gonna start speeding it up these last couple pairs here. Kendall says, man, that EU long at a higher high haunts me, bro. I'm telling you, it's a difficult thing to kind of put in perspective, right? Especially when you're trying to teach people, because it's like for a lot of people, they'll be like, oh yeah, that was a missed opportunity, and they'll really sit here and they'll really feel like, yeah, that was a missed opportunity, I would have just taken that trade. But I'm also putting this in perspective of like a lot of people who are just watching streams and doing even the people who do our classes, they're not really 100% looking at the rules that you need to be following every single day. So when you put it in perspective like that, then yeah, it makes sense as to why people feel some type of way, or might feel some type of way. But it's really when you develop a system, and it's a system that's been back tested for years. We're talking about since 2015, right? It's been 10 years already. It's 10 years of data. It's 10 years of back testing. It's 10 years of not only E doing it for 10 years, but all the students that he had back in the day. And we're talking about hundreds of students. And those people coming back and saying like, yo, thank you, thank you, thank you, I can't believe this shit, like really like enforcing it, right? Then comes me, who came after that, right? I started in 2020, 2021, right? I went through it. Now I'm here, I'm teaching it, right? And then we have Muhammad after a whole year, right? Finally was able to pass, not finally, because it does take time, I didn't mean it like that, but finally was able to pass phase 1 and phase 2. Right, and then we have Kendo as an example as well, right? Somebody who started doing this not even a year ago. Realistically speaking, yeah, I've known Kendo for about a year now, but realistically speaking, Kendo really only started about what, beginning of the year of this year maybe, right? When you really started, like when you really locked in and started learning this was probably not even the beginning of the year, probably like in March, maybe like beginning of the year, something like that. And look where you're at now. So it's like not only seeing the progress of E and myself, but seeing the progress from the people who are learning from us. Like it's crazy how it really is. This is crazy. And again, this isn't just make believe. This is years and years of data, years and years of back testing, multiple courses from me and E combined, and E has a whole bunch of courses that he's taken throughout the years, right, to develop a system that works. So yeah, it's a different game. It's a different game when you really understand like high probability versus low probability, and you understand the reasons as to why, and it's not a guessing game. Like you really understand the reason why. Like trading really becomes the easiest thing in the world. It becomes the easiest thing in the world. What's good, Mohammed? Welcome, my brother. Good shit, gems. If only the market maker could tell us where price will go, bro. But Albert, that's what I try to explain, right? Like, the market makers do tell us where price wants to go. Right? The market will always tell us where price wants to go. Right? So that really is what it is. It's just understanding, like, even though we understand where price is gonna go and why it has to go here, why am I gonna put myself in a situation where, again, the end goal for the market makers, right, the people on the other side of the screen, the end goal for them is to win, and the only way they win is for us to lose. So you put yourself in that 50-50 situation where they're gonna be the ones that end up winning once you start taking trades that you know are low probability. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that made sense. Remember, you practice what you preach. You teaching even when you aren't trying to. It's crazy how it'd be so many mentors telling students not to do this, then do the exact same thing. Yeah, no, exactly. There's so many people who do that. Because again, it is a lot easier to say no, don't do it, than it is to actually have the action behind it, right? It's easy for a lot of people to tell you, yo, make your bed every day, but then you turn around and you see that they haven't even made their bed, and it's like, motherfucker, you're telling me to make my bed and you haven't even made yours? Like, that's really what it is, right? That's really what it is at the end of the day. It's a lot easier to say things out loud with your mouth than it is to actually put the actions behind it. And that's what it is for a lot of these mentors. And again, I don't even want to call them mentors. And if E was here, he'd be like, yo, here you go again, talking shit about other people. Um, just marketing gurus, man. It is what it is. You started in February, March, yeah, exactly. When you buy in, bro, for other progress just comes. That's really all what it is. We gotta meet the real market maker one day, bro. It'll happen. TJR FOMC, yo, Muhammad. I'm not dropping no names, man, but yeah, there's a lot of people, bro. There's a lot of people on that list. That's really what it is. That's what anything in life easier said than done. That's exactly it. Real market maker. Nah, he's the real market maker in the chat now. He's the real fucking market maker. Alright, let's speed up before these guys tell me to hurry up, man. That's what he joined the stream for. Watch, you're gonna type in the chat, yo, hurry up, I wanna go. Fuck you. Right, so GU, let's go ahead and delete some of these drawings here. I don't need to keep this all here. Right, we know that overall we're still on an uptrend. We know that for GU, very similar to EU, we're stuck in a higher high situation. And right now price gave us a change of character, and we have not gotten a clean break just yet. None of these candles close below this candle's wick, so we don't have a valid break of these lows yet. So we're gonna keep this marked up just like this. I'm not gonna say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low just yet. This could still be an inducement. And again, if this is an inducement, then on the 5-minute and the 1-minute time frame, this is where I would want to start seeing that change of character break of structure start to develop. And we can see that we have lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a change of character, higher high, and then price has just been consolidating after that, just moving sideways. All of this here is just a zone of consolidation. So if price could go ahead and give us a 5-minute break, which will happen here, not only will we have that 5-minute break, but we would also have that the 50 EMA cross above the 200, and we'd also have the break above the 800 EMA on the 5-minute time frame. And if that's what price wants to do, then perfect. We'll take these trades back to the top side. 30-minute time frame gave us the inducement. We understand that if we go up to the higher time frames, the 4-hour, the daily, start on the daily first. Right, daily, not a lot. We could just still see that we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. However, in the 4-hour, we got that internal break from the zone of consolidation that we had. Right, we had the break. This could be the higher high, and we're looking for a higher low to be set. The only thing missing on GU that I would have loved to have seen is the confirmations of the EMAs. If we would have been bouncing off the 200 EMA somewhere in these areas on either the daily or the 4-hour time frame, even on the 30-minute, if we could start trending above the 200 EMA, that would have been a little bit better, a little bit of an easier trade to catch. However, if price goes ahead and just gives us a valid break of these lows, then that's okay. We know we'll be looking for a steeper pullback anyway from these highs. So we'll just be patient with it. Speed up. All right, Mohammed. No clean break. Yes, sir. Not yet. Confirmation. 1 minute. Very important. Confirmation. Yeah, right. All right. I'm getting trolled already. NZD USD. Take a buy. No, the only pair I'm gonna be taking buys in is DOP USD. Yo, weren't you guys fishing, man? Weren't you guys fishing? NZD USD, we're in the second zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We still don't have a valid break of the lows. Once we go down to the lower time frame on the 4-hour, we know that we're stuck on a lower time frame zone of consolidation where price is rejecting lows and rejecting highs the entire time. No continuations on the 4. We'll just go ahead and go on to the 30. We know that we're reaching our previous low point on the 4-hour time frame. Price gave us the change of character, lower low, lower high, gave us a zone of consolidation for 2 days. On the 3rd day, which was today, price ended up giving us that break of structure. So let's go ahead and update our 30-minute high, update our 30-minute low. Once again, the only thing, and we talked about this yesterday, and we talked about this on Monday, when we were doing the update to our isolation session and when we did our weekly market breakdown as well on Monday. The only thing I don't like about where this break happened is the fact that we're so close to the 4-hour lows. Could we take another sell position into the 4-hour lows? 1000%. But once we reach these 4-hour lows and once price gets into these 4-hour lows, this is where we want to be patient. This is where we're going to see price either give us an inducement of the low to then continue that push to the top side, or this is where we'll start seeing price give us the break of these lows to continue the push back down to the bottom. So we'll be patient with price in this area. We have no engulfing candles on the daily, the 4-hour or the 1-hour time frame. On the 30-minute time frame and the 15, we don't have any engulfing candles either, so we'll be patient with it. And when we're looking at the EMAs that we want to bounce from, 30-minute, we'll have a nice little pullback. Could be a nice pullback to it. And looking at structure, how it's moving, we already know this looks like a little flag post pattern, right? So if we want to just have another confluence to this, grab our fibs, put it from the top to the bottom. We know that we're looking for price to retest 23.6, 38.2. And we noticed that our 50 EMA and the retest of the 38.2, 23.6 is right on the 50 EMA. So this could be a clean setup for tomorrow as well. NZD USD is definitely one that's going to be on my watch list. I'll show you a fish. Alrighty, buddy. I'll show you a worm with the worm walkers, yes. 2-hour isolation session start crashing out. Now that's all you. Don't put that on me. The worm walkers, man. The worms are in session. That's the one thing I wish YouTube could add, the little emotes, the emojis, the custom emojis. I think we can actually. But I think only when we're partnered or if whatever it's called here on YouTube. Whenever we got the memberships. Oh, my hands still smell like fish, bro. I don't want to fish no more. Especially that one fish. Felt bad for him. US 30, we're trading at higher high, highest point in the market. Price gave us an exhaustion candle on the daily time frame, 4-hour time frame. We had 2 weeks of rise, this week being the third week. Price gave us that third week push to the top side. And then on the 30-minute time frame, once again, we'll speak about this entry similar to GJ, right? US 30 didn't take it, was active on the chart. I just didn't like the area that we're trading in. And once again, it boils down to what we were talking about earlier with high probability, low probability, and just really waiting for the perfect setup. So for US 30, the entry really was to go short. And let me go ahead and move this over just a little bit. But understanding that we were still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us a higher low. The fact that on the 30-minute we were still on this uptrend, didn't feel that comfortable taking those sell positions, especially on an area where price was still trending, right? So with that in mind, at 9:30, once price started moving on the 1-minute time frame, price gave us a nice engulfing candle. As soon as 9:30 hit, price came up, gave us a nice little push to the top side, and gave us a beautiful engulfing candle. Gave us a beautiful engulfing candle, gave us a beautiful retest, straight to profit. Right? Straight to profit. Let's mark it up. I should have put the tool, that's my bad. So you guys could see the position and what we were working with here. Right, so the entry was here, stop loss right above at 20 pips. And then our TPs would have been STP for the day. Straight to STP. Would have been a clean 1 to 12. But again, why did I decide to stay out of this trade? Simply because we're still on an uptrend. If price would have given us any other type of confirmation, right? If price would have given us a change break on the 30, if we would have been on a downtrend, would have been a little bit of a different story. But taking these trades in peak high, taking these trades on US 30 where we're still making higher highs and higher lows, if we were trending below the EMAs, if we would have had some sort of continuations, I would have felt a little bit more comfortable with the position, right? With that being said, again, very similar to what we were talking about GJ. I would rather wait for the picture perfect trade to where I know I could take a trade and I don't have to babysit it and we don't have to just sit there and question whether or not it was the best trade to take. So, on to the next one, USD CAD. We're pretty much done, guys. These last 5 pairs here, I'm not really trading them, so I'm just going to go over the 30-minute time frame. We could see that we had a 4-hour engulfing candle going short, but USD CAD again, we're in a zone of consolidation. I am not taking trades in zones of consolidations. Rules do not need to be followed in a zone of consolidation, so I am going to go ahead and not trade it. Once we get back to the top of the zone of consolidation, we get a rejection of the high, that's when I'll start taking those trades back to the bottom. It's as simple as that. All the trades, like I was explaining on, what pair was it? EA, I think it was. Very similar pair to this one. In these highs, in these areas, that was a pretty big zone. But in these areas, I am not looking to take a trade unless we get an inducement of the high to go short, or if price decides to give us a break, retest, we'll just wait for price to see what it wants to do. That's it. Or I'll be looking to take those buy positions at the bottom of the zone of consolidation to go back to the top side. Everything else in the middle, I'm not touching it. I'm not doing it. So USD CAD, we'll skip over that one. USD ZAR, we were in a huge zone of consolidation for the last week and a half. Finally, price went down, gave us a nice little break. But USD ZAR is still a pair that's in an overall uptrend. We know we had an engulfing candle in this area. I believe it was a daily engulfing candle. Price tapped right into the daily engulfing candle as soon as the market opened last night. Went straight into profit. So we'll wait it out. Once we start making higher highs and higher lows once again on USD ZAR, that's when I'll start trading it. I'm going to leave it marked the way it is. For gold, we're in peak high territory. Was another one that gave us a nice engulfing candle. Beautiful retest, straight into profit into STP. 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. Picture perfect trade. Right? Only thing with gold now, we're in peak high. We're in peak high. This could still be a pullback. We're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. This could still be a higher low to continue to a higher high. So before we look for continuation trades on gold, want to see what price is going to do first. Bitcoin, I mean, it doesn't get more picture perfect than this, guys. We had this drawn out what, Monday, and I think it did exactly what I drew out, guys. I don't know though. I don't know. It drew out exactly what I drew out exactly what Bitcoin was gonna do. Give you the inducement, double bottom, give you the change, give you the break. That's exactly what's going on right now. 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, market must move sideways or go up, and we ended up going up. Bitcoin's another one. Is getting ready. It's getting ready. And then last but not least, US oil. This is still a pair in an overall downtrend. We are in level 2 on a downtrend, and we're just waiting to see price continue this downtrend push. Lower low, gave us a lower high, retested this engulfing candle at these highs. As soon as it gave us the retest, straight into profit. And we're just looking for that lower high point to go back into the lower low. And again, instead of keeping it simple for us, oil has been just consolidating, break, retest, then getting into another zone of consolidation where price has been rejecting lows and rejecting highs. So in these areas at these highs, we'll be patient. I'll be waiting for price to reach the 800 EMA. If it decides to reach the 800 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, we'll see if price wants to break to just give us a steeper pullback, or if price respects the 800 EMA, we know that we'll go right back down to the bottom. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. Any questions? Any other pairs you guys want me to go over? Let me know. If no questions, we'll be done for the night. We'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session at 7 a.m. I heard the lisp. Sorry, man. You know, I got problems. Can't wait to see it. 3 days of rise too. Everything we've broken down in short time, 15-minute video trading session. Packs, nice pair, 56 pairs to trade. No worries about one. Huge, nice. Nice. Also, short videos are a great idea. Easy to follow for beginners. It'll drop next year, right? All good. We don't know when it'll drop, man. At this rate, that shit's gonna take 2 years. But all good, Muhammad. All right, cool. No questions. Give about another 40 seconds. We'll finish at the 46-minute mark. I can't wait to wash my hands again. And I extensively wash my hands, man. Like I smell the fish. We gotta figure it out. Is there like a spray that we could like dump the liquid in the water in the lake to kill that smell fish off the fish? Is that a thing? Cause why that smell? Out of all the smells that the universe could have given the fish, why did it give them that fishy smell for? Should have done something else. Alright guys, have a good rest of your night. We'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Peace out.